Should I really get that palette that I saw online that just got released, or should I not? Hey, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just gonna talk about whether or not you should get a new release even though you've got like a lot of makeup that you already bought over the past year, past 2 years, or past many years. So this is kind of like an anti-haul, but it's just me sharing why or how I curb my spending on makeup, especially since I've spent like a lot of money in the past years over makeup. I was like a Sephora gold member or something. That's the membership status in Southeast Asia. I think gold and then black or something. So I was like the second tier up from like the highest or whatever. I think that's what I was. So that was a clue to me that I've been spending too much on makeup, not just in Sephora but also in online stores, in indie brands, and in drugstore makeup, in the makeup that's sold in pharmacies and stuff. So if you are one of those people who find it hard to kind of resist buying new products, this is the right video for you. One thing that has worked for me is kind of thinking about my bank account. I don't know if that is a deterrent for any of you out there, but I'm really thinking about, oh no, I have bills to pay and I've got this and that to do. I've got to set aside money for myself to survive rather than beautifying myself, because surviving, I can't be beautiful if I don't survive. I can't be beautiful if I'm dead. That's like the main point here. But that was a deterrent for me not to buy new ones. But when I was just starting to kind of rehabilitate myself from shopping for makeup, that was still very difficult to kind of get over, because I still wanted the new releases and I still wanted whatever everyone was raving about, even though I didn't have the money in my bank account. So if thinking about your bank account doesn't work at all, it's very simple. That is like the basic thing that you could do. But if it doesn't work, you could try, if possible, go to the store itself, look at the makeup product and look at it, feel it in your hand, test it out. Besides getting excited over all the colors or the quality or how beautiful it looks or the packaging and whatever else, really think about whether you need this in your life, whether you have dupes for any of these colors, whether the colors are very similar to other colors that you have in your collection. For example, if you're looking at, I guess, like another warm nude palette, and you're thinking, oh my god, these are so lovely colors, and you're thinking, oh my god, I really want it, think to yourself whether you've got any of these colors back at home. It doesn't need to be exact colors, they need to be similar colors. If you have similar colors at home, you really don't need this new palette that you are kind of like testing at the store in your hand. If you're thinking to yourself, but this palette has a higher quality than the one that I have at home, it's gonna perform so much better, it's gonna really look so beautiful in the eyes, I'm so excited to gonna use it because of the quality of this product. Let me tell you something, whether or not it's good or bad quality, I think it's better for you to leave the higher quality palette behind and work with the one that you already have, just because, think of it this way, if you keep the one that's worse quality, I'm not saying that it's bad quality, but it's worse quality than the one in the store that you haven't bought that you really want, and if you're using the one at home on your eyes, think about it this way, it's practice for you to become better at your like makeup skills. So you can tell yourself, hey, I created this beautiful look with this palette that I already have, even though it's more of a worse quality than the one that's in the store, and I made it work, therefore my skill at makeup is good. Or if it's not performing very well, rationalize it by saying, I'm gonna use this to really practice my makeup skills, and then as I get better, the better I can get all palettes from whatever quality they are, however they perform, I can make them work somehow, unless they're really horrible. If they're really horrible and they're still in your collection and you still have it, I don't know why, but if you think that something is really horrible and you're still using it, either hate ban it or throw it away. Think about it that way. You don't really need this new palette just because it's higher quality, because you already have that old palette. And until you finish that palette that has very similar colors, there is really no point for you to buy that new higher quality palette, because you could basically make the same looks from both palettes. Well, you could argue that maybe one palette looks better and the other doesn't, but then at the same time, going back to skill level, I'm just saying you could use the worst off palette to practice your skills, and then you get better, and then in the future, if you like were attracted to some colors but the quality is like meh, at least you can make it work, because you love the colors. That's what I'm saying. That's how I rationalize it. Looking at the price tag of the new palette that I really want, I'm looking at it and I'm just like, is this really worth the amount of money that they're asking for? So for example, like any of the higher end products, I don't know, like from Natasha Denona, is it really worth all this money that you're gonna spend on it for an eye look that you're gonna do only every so often? That kind of thing. So I hope that deters you from buying it as well. Another thing that you can do to deter yourself from buying new makeup palettes is calculating how much time you might need to finish all the eyeshadow palettes in that one palette. So looking at a palette, I'm sure in every palette there is one or two shades, or I don't know, half the palette that you don't really like. So thinking about it that way, is it worth it to buy the whole palette for that maybe few colors or so many colors that you actually like? So is it worth it then? And also, is it worth it to buy it? Am I gonna use it every day? Is it something that I'm gonna wear a lot for 20 shades that I really like, or the 20 shades that are really pretty? Or am I just gonna buy it, use it once or twice, and then not use it at all after, because like maybe you're that kind of person who's just like, oh, I love colorful looks, but I'm too scared to wear it out in daytime. So is it worth it in that sense? Like, would you still buy that palette or not? I don't know if I've mentioned this, but you can also look at the palette and think, hey, these are the colors, or these are the color families that are already, some of them are in my collection, and then think about it this way. Do I use the colors that are in this color family in the shadows that I already have at home? For example, like they've got like a row of purples, and then you've got some purple palettes back at home that you still haven't finished yet, you still haven't even hit pan on. And then you're thinking, wait a minute, but I don't really use the purple shadows at home, so I know this is really pretty, but I don't think I'm gonna buy it just because, I'm not gonna use the purple shadows, as evidenced by the frequent misuse of my current palettes. So that's another reason how you can kind of like talk yourself out of buying something, especially if it's not gonna last that long. Another thing that you can do is, even though it is a hobby and it's something that you really love, perhaps just decreasing the amount of media that you consume that is to do with makeup. For example, if you watch a lot of YouTube videos, and then makeup tutorials really make you want to buy new products because you're using all these beauty gurus use it, and then you're just like, oh my god, they are such good quality, it looks really good on them. It really helps to kind of not cut it out completely, but like watch less of it, if that makes sense. So if you're really serious about like wanting to cut down on your spending on makeup, this is one thing that you can do as well. And also, if you read a lot about makeup on forums or like anything, you could lessen this, so then it helps to curb your spending as well. Another way you can look at it is, it's like appreciating what you already have. So more often than not, we keep buying new products and then we forget about all purchases that we've already made. But when we concentrate on the products that we already have, we give them time, give them the, I guess, like every makeup product has to have like a certain period of time for you to kind of really get to know it. You can't use it once and then be like, oh yeah, this sucks, or oh yeah, this is so awesome. You need to give it a few tries over like weeks or days or something like that, just to know whether you really like a certain product. So really get to know your collection, really get to know what you like and what you don't like, and that gives you like a better, more comprehensive profile of your preferences, and helps you, I guess, also use up the products that you already have, and then helps you kind of narrow down what else you would need in your collection. So I'm not saying that cut out like future spending all entirely, but like really concentrating on your current products and really getting to know yourself helps you manage future purchases, so that in such a way that that this future purchase won't work for you just because your current products are like this, and therefore you won't like this other parts about this new product. So that's how you can like limit your spending in that sense. And that's all the tips that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you found it useful. Leave a comment if you've got any other suggestions for people who really want to limit their spending. And I'll see you next time.